What's up? This is Radd from Punks for Progress. You are watching the Punks for Progress YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to talk some shit. Hit my theme music, Aaron. I'm here to tell you why you're a bootlicker if you support Joe Biden in any way or refuse to criticize him in the name of some non-existent greater good. First reason. Joe Biden collaborated with Dixiecrats like James Eastland and Herman Talmadge and other segregationists like Jesse Helms to stop mandated busing that was designed to reverse racial discrimination in American schools. And as for a reason, he was quoted in saying, "My bill strikes at the heart of the injustice of court-ordered busing. It prohibits federal courts from disrupting our educational system." And then he was recently called out by cop sympathizer and renowned hypocrite Kamala Harris, and still refuses to admit he was wrong to oppose busing. And on the topic of Senator Harris, real quick, she's a prosecutor. Either way, any way you twist it. Say what you will about the challenges of being a black woman working in the legal justice system. I'm not going to deny that, but at the same time, not only is it one of those oppressive positions of power in general, but she moved up from deputy DA in Alameda County to district attorney of San Francisco in only 5 years. She was still deputy DA in Alameda County in 1998 and then won the election for DA in San Francisco in 2003. How do you move up so quickly in the legal justice system? More convictions and harsher sentencing. And also think about the fact that a lot of those people, if we remember what she said to Joe Biden in the debates about how she was that little girl that was bused to school in Berkeley, California. You also got to be completely fair, think about the fact that a lot of those people of color who were bused to school in Berkeley and Oakland, along with Kamala Harris, were people that Harris herself over-prosecuted and for whom Harris herself kept the system less fair. Not only that, but she most likely over-prosecuted many of the children who were sons and daughters of black Americans who had to live under de jure segregation, as well as during the times of the first busing mandates in the East Bay. Second reason. Joe Biden still takes pride in co-authoring the infamous 1996 crime bill, which skyrocketed incarceration rates of young black men and subjected them to exponential amounts of police and other state violence. Yes, I am fully aware that Bernie Sanders also voted in favor of this bill, but it was because, or so he says, because there were really no other bills at the time that emphasized harsher punishment for violent crimes against women by men. But Bernie Sanders didn't write the bill. He claims to have reluctantly voted for it. I mean, you can believe Senator Sanders or disbelieve him, but that's what he said. And also, in addition, whose career was it that began to skyrocket as soon as the crime bill went into effect in 96 or 97 or whenever it went into effect, which really helped her and her office dramatically increase conviction rates and sentence injustice in an impoverished area with a higher than average black population? That's right, renowned hypocrite Kamala Harris. And that pattern also never stopped. I mean, she was appointed to several additional state boards. She was hired by the San Francisco District Attorney's Office about 3 years after the crime bill. And then about 3 years after that, in 2003, she won the election for DA of San Francisco. For DA of San Francisco. And then during her first term as DA of San Francisco City and County, the overall felony conviction rate rose from 52% to 67% in 3 years, between 2003 and 2006. Homicide conviction rates also increased to 85% in those 3 years. And drug dealer convictions increased from 56% to 74%. And keep in mind, this is also exclusively for post-trial convictions, not plea bargains, which are also racist and classist in their own right. And as far as a source of those statistics I just mentioned, they came directly from the Kamala Harris for California Attorney General campaign. These were statistics that they were boasting. This obvious increase of judicial overreach. Because who do you think is the most affected by increased felony conviction rates, increased homicide conviction rates? These are conviction rates, not necessarily proof that the person did it. And also, drug dealer conviction rates. And there you go. There's definitely more than one person whose career clearly benefited from the crime bill that is in between the Democratic nominees. But there's two blatant ones that definitely played a key role in making the system more unfair. Anyway, third reason, Joe Biden still has not apologized to Anita Hill. We're waiting. And yeah, I'm aware that Vox recently wrote an article claiming that he took responsibility, quote unquote, for it, but he didn't. It was like a Bart Simpson apology. The exact quote was just, "I take responsibility that she didn't get treated well." No, motherfucker! You were supposed to take full responsibility for the fact that you personally failed to summon additional witnesses that would have helped her. And you sat there like a bootlicker while your white supremacist Republican golf buddies grilled the shit out of a sexual assault victim of color. Not to mention that his blatant mishandling of the testimony led to pioneering anti-intersectional bootlicker Clarence Thomas getting sworn in as a Supreme Court justice. Fourth reason, he already has, by far and away, accepted the most corporate sponsorship money out of anyone in the election. He has never taken any pledge against corporate PACs and super PACs. He demonstrated time and time again that he wishes to protect the interest of auto manufacturers, weapon contractors, big banks, and the like. And this is during a time when even some Republicans want to work towards getting money out of politics. We even recently had fucking Ted Cruz, the Zodiac Killer himself, agreeing to work with AOC on a bill that prohibits former politicians from being corporate lobbyists. The so-called president used the self-funded moniker as part of his campaign, and it made him attractive among Republican voters. Everyone's sick of these lobbyists for hire running for office just to protect the interests of the capitalists, even people who vote more right-wing. I mean, it's obviously they're guilty of a lot of other stuff too, including bad praxis, but you get the idea. And now you're talking about putting up Joe Biden against the spray tan bed pisser? You got to be shitting me. Anyway, fifth reason, he voted in favor of the Iraq War and deregulating Wall Street. Of course, it's important to mention, especially because most of the base that might even consider voting Democrat was against the Iraq War and was in favor of highly regulating Wall Street. But Biden voting in favor of these two things I mentioned should come as no surprise, because Remember that his catchphrase in 2012 was, "Bin Laden is dead and GM is alive." Of course, I didn't see it at the time because I wanted so much less for Romney to be president. But that was just, blatant and unapologetic support for imperialism, political assassinations, and corporate welfare. He's the old Democrats. He's the type that notoriously gives no fucks about the working class. And another quick thing about the working class in America, they did not, quote unquote, vote for Trump. Most of the American working class voted for neither candidate. Most of them aren't even registered to vote, and many aren't even eligible to vote for various reasons. And the working class voted for Trump at about the same rate as they usually did any Republican candidate. The demographic, that voted for Trump in the highest per capita numbers were college educated, 60 grand and above white people. Bernie, AOC, and the like, and even to a certain extent, Elizabeth Warren are the ones truly taking upon the task of representing the interests of the working class, because quite obviously the Republicans aren't doing that either. But it's kind of working, especially among voters under 45. But with textbook neoliberals like Biden and Harris and Booker, not so much. Sixth reason. Joe Biden repeatedly, for 4 decades, voted against bankruptcy protection for student loan debt. According to David Sirota, in a recent interview with Amy Goodman on Democracy Now!, Joe Biden was directly involved in bankruptcy legislation since he was elected to the Senate in the 70s. Back then, there was a big push to reduce courts' ability to lower student debt in bankruptcy court. First, it was with government loans. It all started when a bill was passed that Joe Biden co-wrote and was on the conference committee for, that said that students had to wait at least 5 years after graduation before being eligible for government student loan bankruptcy protection. And that trend continued ever since. There were similar bills that were later passed that, kept lengthening the amount of time after graduation that students could get bankruptcy protection and made more rigorous protocol for eligibility. And then in the 2000s, eventually, he authored the infamous bankruptcy bill, which was passed by George W. Bush, that altogether eliminated eligibility for bankruptcy protection for most American college students in student loan debt from private loans as well as public, which is obviously something that the private lenders all wanted to, quote unquote, protect their investment. And while Biden was creating these bills, he received a total of about $2 million from the financial sector. And Elizabeth Warren, back when she was still a professor, wrote a paper criticizing this tendency and this record of Biden's, and said that he essentially led the fight to what is now prohibiting judges from lowering student debt like they can almost all other forms of debt in bankruptcy court. We're still not even in the primary. What the fuck is this guy still doing here, and why aren't more people criticizing him? You're not going to beat Trump by nominating him. You're going to create a Trump versus Trump situation by nominating him. And before you accuse me of implying that the Democrat and Republican parties are the same, whoa. I never said they were the same. One party is neoliberals who are racist, sexist, homophobic, and nationalist. And the other party is neoliberals who are slightly less racist, sexist, homophobic, and nationalist. Those are two clearly different platforms. I mean, we can basically now divide the American voter base between the Republicrats, the people who see through the bullshit, and the people who are constantly on fucking acid. So on behalf of those people who are on acid, no, I'm joking. On behalf of those people who see through the bullshit, I gotta say to the other Republicrats still in the other semi-Republicrats still in this Democratic nomination race, especially Tulsi, Warren, Mayor Pete, Kamala Harris, and Bill de Blasio. Don't help nominate Biden, you egotistical neoliberal assholes! Well, that's the end of the segment, but before we sign off, I'm going to play a song. I play a tune. This is from another leftist extreme metal band that Prosthetic Records recently signed alongside Neckbeard Death Camp. Their name translates to Dead Gods in Greek. They are a solid group of comrades from Tampa, Florida, the undisputed home of death metal. Before any of you write this off as slam, listen to the whole record. You can be a death metal fan and write their record off as slam when you're done with it, but that would make you an idiot. No, seriously, if you write this record off as slam, you might as well write off the first Suffocation record as slam. So here they are. This is Necroi Theoi, or however the fuck you pronounce it, with blue shirt, white hood. So until next time, this is Radd Khan saying, political science and sociology students, you're welcome for the free homework help. Please send beer. We like beer.
Fallen civilian body falls in vain.